Hello everyone and welcome to another video review from 3DGameMan.com. I'm Rodney Reynolds and today I'm having a look at the Phanteks EVOLV ATX Tempered Glass Edition case. Now this one is virtually identical to the EVOLV ATX, except of course it comes with tempered glass panels, one on each side, and it does have a lighting control system with 10 different colors, a breathing effect, and you can cycle between those colors. Included is the user's manual, 3 brackets for installing both 3.5-inch and 2.5-inch drives on, plastic cable ties, and note the power LEDs. You've got your choice here between blue, red, and green. And speaking of LEDs, they do include a magnetic multicolor LED strip, a pump bracket, and a case here which holds all the screws that you'll need for installing the hardware. Now this mid-tower case measures in at 235 by 495 by 510 millimeters and weighs 10.2 kilograms. And as you can see, the overall look, styling, build quality, and fit and finish on this is just exceptional. Oh, and this case is also available in 3 different colors. This one, anthracite gray, galaxy silver, and satin black. At the top, they have a slab of aluminum as well as at the front, plus also at the bottom. It is 3 millimeters thick. And of course, those tinted tempered glass panels that are on each side of the case. At the top, they have ventilation holes on either side. Here's the power button. At the front top, they include 2 USB 3 ports, the audio jacks, and this is the lighting control switch. Now this complete panel pops off by pulling here at the bottom, and note the LED. Now the LED switch, which replaces the reset button at the front top of the case, actually controls all of the LEDs. This includes the LED that's on the power button, the LED that's at the front bottom of the case, and any LED strips that are connected into it. Now they do include a removable dust filter. You just pull at the top, wiggle a little bit, and it will come right off. They include 2 140 millimeter intake fans. Alternatively, you can install up to 3 120 millimeter fans, or optionally up to a 360 millimeter reader, and note the cable management holes. The glass panels certainly add to the overall appearance on the case. There's no question about that, but they do attract dust and fingerprints really easily, so you better keep that microfiber cloth and cleaning solution close. At the back, there's lots of ventilation. They include a 140 millimeter exhaust fan. Optional, you can install a 120 millimeter fan or up to a 140 millimeter reader, and note how the screw holes are slotted. Here there are 7 ventilated expansion slots, and at the bottom you can install a standard ATX power supply. Note that I do have rubber rests for the power supply to lodge on, and as well as a dust filter. Removing the side panels requires taking off 4 thumb screws, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom, and it just lifts right off. Now they do have rubber padding all the way around here on both sides where the glass makes contact to the case. Now the case fits extended ATX up to 264 millimeters in width, standard ATX, micro ATX, and mini ITX form factor motherboards. On the motherboard tray is a large hole for the cooler's retention plate, and there are plenty of rubber grommeted holes to route the cables through. And thankfully, there's lots of space behind the motherboard tray and the right side panel. You can install all kinds of 2.5-inch and 3.5-inch drives. In this case, it really depends on the brackets that you have, but note, you cannot install a 5.25-inch drive. They're saying up to 8 3.5-inch drives and up to 3 2.5-inch drives, but you can install more 2.5-inch drives than that. Remember, this drive bracket, you can mount a 3.5-inch or 2.5-inch drive on it, and then attach it to the case. It slides into position. You use a couple of screws to secure it, and you can fit 5 of these here. Also, just below this section, you can install more drives. I'll get to that when I look at the other side of the case. And if you have a 2.5-inch bracket, you can install another drive here. Now they do include a couple of 2.5-inch drive brackets. Again, I'll show you that on the other side. They have thumb screws on the expansion slots. Now what about the clearance for the video card, power supply, and CPU cooler? Well, you can have a video card that is up to 420 millimeters in length, but if you have the hard drive brackets installed, you can have one that is only 300 millimeters in length. As for power supply length, you can have one that is 318 millimeters long, and the CPU cooler can be up to 194 millimeters in height. Now, they have a bracket at the top of the case, and on it you can fit up to 3 120 millimeter fans or up to 2 140 millimeter fans. Alternatively, you can fit a radiator that is up to 360 millimeters in length. Now, this top panel can be removed, but it does require taking off 4 screws. There's 2 at the back and 2 more at the front. To access the ones at the front, you'll need to take off the front panel. Once you've done that, you can just pop it off like so. On the right side of the case in this area, you can install up to 2 2.5-inch drives or up to 2 3.5-inch drives. To install a drive, just pinch the plastic drive rail, pull it out, mount the drive, and then slide it back into place. Now, speaking of drives, you can install 2 more 2.5-inch drives on these brackets. To remove the bracket, push up, it slides right out, install the drive, and then slide it back down. Oh, and if you have the bracket, you can fit another drive here at the bottom. Now, they include a fan hub with 6 3-pin connectors and 1 4-pin connector. As well included is a 4-pin fan lead, and note the power lead. Now that we're back here, have a look at the cable management. It's quite neat and tidy. They do include these Velcro ties. Again, lots of punch outs so you can organize the cables behind the motherboard tray, and there is 35 millimeters of space to do so. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering where you connect that LED strip to, this would be it, and then you would control it from the switch at the top front of the case. At the bottom, there's these 2 tall aluminum sections. Each one has rubber feet on it. There's one at the front and another at the back. Now, I think we'll agree that the overall look, styling, build quality, and fit and finish on this case is just exceptional. Plus, it's loaded with excellent features, but are you willing to spend just under $200 for it? I mean, a lot of mid-tower cases these days you can snatch up for $60 or $70, and they're quite acceptable. But really what sets this apart is the styling, the glass panels, plus it's aluminum and again loaded with awesome features. It's a case that's truly going to stand out. And with that being said, it is a 100% kick-ass product. Until next time, take care. Well, that's it, but I hope you enjoyed the review, and if you think this and other videos that I produce are great, please like them, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, your comments are very welcome, and if you have any questions, let me know.